Hi, this is Jennie Walker, and welcome to Closet Conversations. Today I wanted to talk to you about the Secret of Poshmark. Now, I've been playing around with the app now for a number of months, getting more serious about selling on the app. And, when you play around with something long enough, you'll see patterns and you'll be able to figure things out. And so I think I've discovered the secret. And I don't mean the secret, which actually the secret I really enjoyed, by the way. But this secret is just something that I noticed, which I think really explains everything, every piece of advice or everything you've ever heard about Poshmark. So how it happened is one day I was trying to follow people who were suggested users, also known now as Poshmark ambassadors. So there's a place in the app where you can follow those people. So one day I'd followed everyone on the list, and then I just, I hit refresh, and then the names would refresh, and then maybe, half of the names would be new again, and then I'd hit refresh, follow those people, hit refresh, and then maybe another half of those names would be new. And I sat there and I'm like, that's interesting. Every time I hit refresh, the data changes. So if it's changing in who you follow, that's a suggested user or Poshmark ambassador, maybe it's changing everywhere. So I did a search on one of my favorite brands, Moschino, and I searched on Moschino, and I was in there, and then I hit refresh, and then the inventory changed, and hit refresh again, and I was looking in the feed, and then the inventory changed, and I'm like, okay, this is it. The reason they tell you to keep sharing your closet is the key to success is that because every time you refresh, the inventory moves. So it's sort of like if you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, you've got all those ones and O's just like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Well, this is all of the inventory within Poshmark that's constantly being bought and sold and added and shared and subtracted. It's just a constant, zeros and ones just going through and through and through. And so every time you share something in your closet or hit refresh or hit something that forces the app to reload or refresh itself, that's basically saying, here's a screenshot of what's happening in Poshmark. So to me, the secret is the fact that every time you refresh, you get a screenshot and a snapshot of what's happening in Poshmark. So if someone is looking for a particular item and you have recently shared your item, chances are they're going to see it in that moment. Now, what are the chances that that person who's looking for what you've got is going to see it? Which is different than for people searching for things who are going to go scroll through and through and through until they find what they're looking for. I'm talking about at the very top, in that top several lines where you can see the inventory. So that's the secret. So, so what do you do about it? So, there's people who have these unofficial, not recommended. I'm not recommending this. I'm just mentioning it. You can get these services that'll share your stuff for you all day long. And so really take that away. And I heard some other podcasts that were talking about the fact that every single person who's doing it, the way it should be done, is having to share their items in order for them to be seen, is to level the playing field. And so, okay, I get that. So now what? What are you going to do? I mean, how in the world are you going to share your closet all day long? You can't. It's not going to be possible for most people, and I can't even imagine the carpal tunnel syndrome we'll all get if we sit there and just, push buttons all day long. So really, once you understand that, it can kind of, give you pause and make you step back. Okay, they're either going to find it because they searched on it, or they're going to find it because, I refreshed and it happened to be there, and it was something they searched on where they saw it without having to spend, minutes and hours on there. So that's the key. And since so much of the statistics say, from what I've heard and what I've read, is that people are mostly buying because of what they searched for. All right, so then how important is it to actually share, right? So it's sort of like, okay, most people know what they're looking for and aren't being too spontaneous statistically, but enough people are being spontaneous and impulse buying to where if they just happen to see your item, they're going to be attracted to it. Now, I think this is such an important point. So this is the key to Poshmark. And since you have to do it yourself, then there has to be some sort of system that you set up that makes sense for you in order to share your items. And I've listened to a number of YouTube videos, and I've listened to other people and what they've got to say. And some say to share during parties, and some say, to share in the morning or in the middle of the day or at night, or, different people have different ideas. And I have found that if I have something to share, I'm usually doing it in the morning. Now, I'm West Coast time, so in the morning before I'm really getting ahead of my day. So I'm talking about 8, 9, 10 in the morning. Then I do it at night, and I do it at about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 at night. And so that's when I'm sharing my closet. There are times if I just happen to catch a party and I have something that's relevant, I will stop and take the time to put it in that party. I don't think it really makes that much difference, to be honest, but the parties do put more people on the platform at that time. So that's a really good time to share your closet, just because more people are in the app and, looking for things to buy or to sell on there. So anyway, that big secret, now that I've discovered it, really, really makes me pause, and I have to ask myself, well, if sharing is the key, then how often can I share, and how often is that realistic, and what else can I do? So I think everybody's got to come up with their own sharing system. I don't have anyone to share my items for me, and I'm at this stage of the game. I have, like 470 items up there, 477 to be exact, as of tonight. And I'm not going to be paying anybody to share my items. It's going to be something that I'm going to do myself. So I mentioned that I was working toward getting 1,000 items in the inventory on Poshmark as my next benchmark. So I think my way around that, in not being able to share all day long my closets, and I think that's true with most people, I think for me, what I'm going to do is just add more inventory. Because just like in eBay, if you have a whole lot of inventory that's up there, more people are going to see. You have an opportunity to sell more things just because you have more eyeballs on your store, more eyeballs on your items. I know when I see items that I like, I look to see what else do they have for sale. And I think that's the key. So the more items that you have for sale and the more eyeballs are on it, the more chances you have for someone to really look at the scope and breadth of your inventory. So I've been doing a lot better on Poshmark, just in terms of my growth. And I had my first 4-figure sale. Now, and you're going to laugh when I tell you this. So from earlier podcasts that I'm all hung up on pricing everything too much because I really don't want to sell it, is what it amounts to. And I really want to be a clothes collector and have a clothing museum and not actually sell. I think we went over that before. But the reality is I have to sell because this is how I earn my living and how I pay my bills. And so you're going to laugh hilariously when I tell you that I successfully sold a 4-figure item on Poshmark, and I'll tell you all about it. These were super rare runway boots from 2011, the Louis Vuitton Fetish line. Marc Jacobs was at the helm at that time. If you search in Google Louis Vuitton runway boots or runway 2011 or Fetish collection, what do you want to do? You'll see the things from that collection. Really, I think Beyonce had done a Vogue cover shoot wearing some of the stuff from that collection. So it was very, very popular and still is today, highly sought after. I have a number of things from that Fetish collection, including the Metal Mask collection. I have, I think, 6 of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 or 7 of them. And they had been shown on the models' hats, really funky hats. And I actually have worn mine as a necklace. because I just think it's pretty fantastic. But anyway, so I have a number of pieces from the collection. So the boots are something that I bought to resell. I'll be very clear about that. These I found them and they weren't my size, but I felt like I could make money on them. And I just thought they were little works of art. And it's really hard to know what to price them. I'd seen similar pair on eBay for $3,000. I'd seen another pair for like $2,500. And there were like one pair anywhere to be found anywhere. So I'm like, well, they're rare and all of that. So I listed them like $2,500, $2,200, and they'd gotten on sale to about $2,000. And so somebody made me an offer of $1,200. Now, I did not immediately take that offer. As a matter of fact, I was like, only $1,200. And the reason I say that is not because I don't want to sell something for $1,200. It's because I didn't want to not get as much value as I thought was possible out of this particular pair of boots that are so rare and so hard to find and highly sought after. And just like on eBay, when someone makes you an offer, it's a real offer. I mean, the money's there, and, do I want to walk away from $1,200 because I think I can sell the boots for more? Did I want to counter and risk losing that sale? Because it would have been my largest sale on Poshmark. And I have large sales like that on eBay fairly regularly, simply because I sell a lot of expensive things, Louis Vuitton handbags, Chanel handbags, high-end, special edition designer clothing. And these things are over $1,000, the ones that I have sold. So, that's not unusual for me. But what is unusual is that it was on Poshmark. And I know that Poshmark has this system where if it's over $500, they're going to verify your item before they send it on to the buyer. So I knew that was going to be a great thing. And I knew this was going to be a final sale. So anyway, so I called a friend of mine and I said, hey, you're going to laugh when I ask you this, but I just got a $1,200 offer on a pair of boots that were $2,500. Now I have them on sale for $2,000. What do you think I should do? And she's like, well, you need the money? I said, yeah, I got some bills to pay. She goes, take it. That's the only thing you need to ask yourself. And she says, quit, holding on, quit waiting forever to sell something. Just sell the boots. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And so I did. And I was excited that it was a successful sale. It went through. I got my 5 stars and it was delivered successfully. And then I got paid. And I guess my earnings after they had 20% was $900 and something dollars. And I thought, well, this is really something special for me because there's so much of a wide range of inventory on Poshmark, from very low priced items to very high priced items. And I was not sure who those customers were going to be going in my store because I have both. I have really, really cute low priced items like things from H&M and things like that. And then I have really high end pieces like Louis Vuitton and Chanel and other like Gautier and different designers like that. And so it's a real range. So there really is something for everybody. But to have that successful sale go through was just thrilling for me and gave me the confidence to list one of my masks from the collection. So now I don't have 6 anymore. I'm going to have 5. So I put one of my Louis Vuitton fetish masks up there, and I put a big price on it because I know what I paid and I know how rare they are. And I just searched the internet and nobody has one for sale anywhere. So that's going to drive the price. And, again, it's one of these things where I don't care if I sell it or not. So this is an interesting perspective to have because I actually don't care if I sell it or not, meaning I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to just, take a small amount for that item or even, something close to what I paid for it at this point because it's too rare, it's too special, and I have other things that I can sell to pay the regular bills with. But I'm just going to see. I'm going to test it out, and if I can make a nice profit on this, if I can, double or triple my money, triple would be nice, but if I can at least double my money from what I paid, that'd be great. These came out in the marketplace in 2011. They were super rare, super special, and not inexpensive. And in the secondary market, you can still buy them from time to time for anywhere from double the original retail to the original retail price to a little bit under, just depending on where you source it. So it'll be interesting to see what buyer I can attract and if I can find the right buyer who's willing to pay a premium for this really cool item. Now, Halloween coming up, this would be an amazing, really amazing thing to be wearing for Halloween. For the sophisticated look, it has cords, these like very silky cords on it, so it doesn't stay tied. And that's one of the things that really is a disappointment in this piece, is it doesn't stay tied. So you ultimately would have to tie it and then do something else to make it stay, either put a small rubber band around it. Ideally, you would just take the cords out and slip in something that's suede or leather that has more texture to it so it can stay tied while you're wearing it. But yeah, I think now with the Halloween coming up, it's really the perfect time to see if I can get that sold and to see if I can attract more buyers of these high-end items. And if that's the case, then I'll start listing a bunch of high-end items on Poshmark, because I'll know that those can be successful sales. And so I'm thrilled about that. I mean, it's not every day you sell anything for $1,200, much less pair of used piece of used piece of leather is what it amounts to, which shows you just how much value is given to things in the design and in the brand and the style. So that's it. As of today, I've got 41,000 followers on Poshmark, and I'm following 75,000 people. I have 477 listings, 6,388 shares, and I've sold my first 4-figure item. So that's where I am on Poshmark after a few months. I'm enjoying the platform. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited that I have an alternative to eBay and I can be multi-platform, and I have intentions to have much more inventory up on Poshmark and to be on more platforms, but a step at a time. So for me, I really want to master what's going on Poshmark before I head over to Etsy, but that's on my list. So there you go. So this is Jennie Walker with Closet Conversations. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you liked what you heard, please give it a 5-star rating, reviews. I'm still very new at this and don't have enough reviews for anything to show up. So if you've gotten any benefit from this, I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me via any social media. I'm on all of it as Jenniegirl's Closet or as Walker Vine Luxury Consignment. On Poshmark, I am Jenniegirl's Closet, but it's Jenniegirl, CLOS. So Jenniegirl's Claws. If you want to follow me on Poshmark and check out my store. And I follow everyone back who follows me. Not immediately. It might take me a day or two, but I always do that as part of my following strategy. So love to hear from you. All right. Look forward to more on the next Closet Conversations.